Hi guys, welcome to the first ever episode of the Hawker Philosophy podcast. I am your host, Sandy Diana Bang. Hello. Before we get into everything, I just kind of want to let you guys know about me. I'm your guys' host, you know what I mean? So my name is Sandy Diana Bang. Diana is my middle name. Bang is my last name. I am half Hmong and half Chinese. I am 5 feet, but I tell people I'm 5'1". And I was born and raised in St. Paul, Minnesota. Yes, a girlie is from Minnesota. Who even lives in Minnesota? I know, okay? I tell myself that every single day. I have 2 younger brothers. I'm the oldest, so yes, I am bossy. I am definitely a little bit controlling, and I usually get what I want, but you know what? What else about me? My birth dad is Chinese, and my mom is Hmong. Until my mom got remarried to my stepdad now, my mom was practically a single mother. Like, she was the only one who was making money to support me and my siblings, so kudos to her. She is the reason why I am so powerful today. Okay, maybe not powerful, but like, I'm a bad bitch, and it's because of my mom. But welcome to this podcast. I named it the Hot Girl Philosophy podcast because number one, I am a hot girl. Like, I would consider myself a hot girly. But also, to step into the power of being a hot girl, I think it's also very important to always better yourself, always improve yourself. Like, it's one thing to be hot, but to me it's also another thing to also be smart, you know, to be somebody that is constantly trying to become the best version of themselves they possibly can be. So yes, Hot Girl Philosophy. I just thought that was such a cute title, and I'm surprised nobody else has used it yet. So maybe it's just meant to be, you know? But I wanted to create this podcast because I am a big talker. I mean, I'm sure you guys have found me from either YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. If not, and you guys just found me randomly, hi, hello, I am Sandy. But if you guys have found me on other social medias, you guys know, like, I'm a girly with lots of energy. Not to be weird into zodiacs and stuff, but like, I'm totally into that shit. So yes, it's because I'm in Aries sun, Aries moon, Scorpio rising, definitely all those things, I would say. But I'm a girly with a lot of energy and I love to talk, so I just feel like being on other social media platforms, I feel like it's a little bit more difficult to dive into really deep conversations, really deep topics, because those platforms are more for short form content. Like, YouTube is a little longer. I could film a video for like 22 minutes, but that's also like a very visually stimulating platform, and sometimes I just want to talk. Like, I don't want to have to hook you in and like talk about a niche for like a fat minute. On a podcast, I can low-key ramble and it's okay. Like, we're here to listen. So that's why I created this podcast, because a girly cannot stop talking, and it's been like that since the beginning of time. So yes, this podcast is going to be all about learning, growing, self-improvement, mindset shifts, because I swear to God, I'm having one every other week. And I think being in your 20s, that is what it's all about. Like, we're here to grow, we're here to learn. We have our fun in our teenage years, but I think the 20s is when you start becoming more self-aware, and there are so many things we could talk about. This podcast is totally diving into spirituality too, because I am huge on that. We're also going to be doing wellness, beauty, social media, because I know a lot of you guys want to talk about things on how to become a social media influencer, content creator, things like that. And as you guys know, that's what I do for a living. So I definitely feel like I have some tips and tricks that you guys would appreciate. And I also want to add that as much as all of us are so different, we're all on our own path. We all have our own destiny. I also do believe that we as humans are so similar, and because we're human, I feel like we're just all more connected than we think we are. I think we all share very similar experiences. I do think that in joining and finding a community, it can help us in so many more ways than one. Like, this journey we call life is low-key kind of hard, but to be able to find a community where you can at least feel like somebody else understands you in some way, one or another, I feel like that is just so beautiful. It's so helpful. But yes, that is me. I am Sandy Diana Bang. That's what this podcast is all about. And if this totally resonates with you, this aligns with you, then continue to listen. Of course, follow me on my social medias at Sandy Diana Bang on everything: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And yeah, let's move on. Let's get into it. So let's talk about how I even got here, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, how did this girl become a full-time content creator? YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, blah, 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 blah. How is she at a point where she's finally creating a podcast, talking to people, inspiring people, and all that yada yada yada, you know? So right now, this is what I do. It's my job, right? But how did I start? Well, firstly, let's talk about the beginning of time. I have always loved creating content as a kid. If you guys look at all of my binders of what do you want to be when you're an adult, all of them say, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a YouTuber. I've been creating videos since I was like 10 years old. As soon as I was old enough to function and use a freaking laptop, the first thing I would do when I would hop into a computer is use the editing tools, you know, the editing softwares like the super J janky ones back in like 2010, 2011. Oh my god, and I forgot to mention, I'm 22 right now. So if y'all were wondering how old I am 22 years old, 23 in about 4 months. But yes, I started creating videos when I was really young. I have so many of the videos still too, and they're all on private. When I first started on YouTube as a kid, when I tell y'all, I genuinely thought I was gonna be a singer. Like, I thought I had it like that. But quickly I found out I am not a good singer. I'm not the best. I am not great. I'm not terrible, but like, that's just clearly not my calling, you know? And that's actually one of the lessons you'll learn as a content creator. It's like, you go into it thinking you're gonna do one thing because that's what you think your niche is gonna be. But I learned that over time, the more content you create, you start to realize what you really want to do. And so I really thought I was gonna be a singer, but no, here I am being a beauty, lifestyle, fashion content creator. Story time though, when I was about 11 or 12, I forgot what age. It was definitely one of those two though. I created a singing video, and when I tell y'all, I was like 11 or 12 and my video got 1,000 views. As a young girly, I really thought I was famous. I was here like, oh my god, I have talent, I am special, there is something about YouTube. And so ever since then, like, that was low-key the driving point for me. I was here like, yeah, YouTube low-key might be my thing. So if you guys wonder, like, how did you get started? I got started by just filming videos, posting them on YouTube as a young girly, just having the time of my life with it, getting views here and there, and that low-key was just all I needed to know that that's what I wanted to do. But low-key, when you love something, I feel like naturally you're just so drawn to it anyways. Like, it was definitely something I was very passionate about ever since I was a kid. I remember just coming home from school every single day, hopping on my computer and using the webcam to just take selfies every single day. That was my life. It's crazy how now I take photos as a job, but it's basically what I used to do, just repurposed into something that can be monetized. But I'll definitely say what I do now is everything I did as a kid, but just, you know, like I said, monetized, because I also loved fashion as a kid. Story time. When I was 4 years old, I was up at the stairs, right at the top of the stairs. I put on my mom's fucking 4-inch heels. I was maybe 3 or 4 years old. Like, I was really freaking young, but I remember this, y'all, because it was traumatizing. But I was at the top of the stairs wearing my mom's red chunky ass heels, and as I walked down the stairs, I go, "Mom," and I literally fall, tumbling, dun 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 dun. And at the bottom of the stair was my brother. He was probably only like 2. This is so funny to me. In the middle of the stair, as I'm literally flipping down, I feel my shoe fall off my feet, and my mom sees everything. The shoe flies, spinning, and hits my brother straight dead smack in the middle of his forehead. Until this day, he still has a dent there, and that was caused by me and my crazy need for fashion, my crazy need to wear heels and show my mom, because my mom low-key was my biggest hype man. But also to add, oddly, my mom was such a big supporter in me following my dreams, but my mom is not girly. Like, she was not that girly. She didn't make me a girly girl. Like, naturally, that's what I wanted to be. Anyways, I'm just rambling right now, but that's just one of my stories of when I was a fashionista as a kid. Okay, now we're gonna move on to how I popped off. At what point did I start seeing support on social media? So as I said, like, I've been making content since I was 11 or 12. Like, this is something I used to do daily, making videos every month, but it was mostly when I turned about 15 or 16 that I started getting a lot of followers on Instagram. I feel like a lot of my intimate support comes from a YouTube channel, but surprisingly, I started my entire journey off of Instagram. All I did was take selfies all of the time. I used to follow trends, do makeup, and just be really funny on Instagram. Like, I used to post a lot of funny videos, and naturally, that's how I gained my audience. People just loved seeing me create content. I've heard that it's a lot harder to create content and gain followers on Instagram now. I will say that's low-key kind of true. Like, I am not gaining the amount of followers like I used to back in the day. I remember back in the day, I used to be able to gain 20,000 in just a night, but now it's kind of like that's not really what happens these days. But yeah, I started on Instagram, and from there, I realized that I should create more videos for my audience, because I know that they want to know how my makeup is done and how I dress and like outfit ideas, and they want to see me vlog my life. And so that's when I got into YouTubing, and that's when I started to see that my audience was becoming very intimate, because not only was I creating content on Instagram quite regularly, I was also creating my longer form content on YouTube, and I feel like that just gave people even more of an inside look into my life. And yeah, that's how I got into becoming an Instagrammer and YouTuber. It was mostly based off of just love for creating content and then creating a community, and then having so much excitement in creating content for my community, because it's also so rewarding when you help others. Because when you help others, or when you inspire others, or you provide value to others, you will see how you can reap the rewards. Because gaining the community just gives me such a sense of purpose. Like, it makes me so happy to know that I'm actually impacting the lives of other people. I don't know if that sounds cocky, but you know what? That's how I feel. I genuinely love my job and I find it so fulfilling. So talking about the past, my motivation definitely was passion. But as a lot of you guys know, or you guys don't know, I moved out when I was 19 into my own apartment. I lived with Shar, my cousin, and we lived together for about a year. And then after that year, I moved out into my own apartment by myself, and I lived there for about a year and a half. I will say those were really difficult years, because I think that when you move out on your own, it naturally forces you to grow up, and you have to face a lot of the things that you don't want to face necessarily as a kid. I had to do a lot of healing, and I guess we can dive into those topics in other podcasts, because I really want to dive into healing into a full episode, but I know it's probably going to be too long for this episode. But for this episode, I'm just going to talk about it really lightly. The past 3 years were really difficult to me. I had to heal, and I think that only just recently I learned how to do it, and I finally stopped resisting. And now that's why I'm filming this podcast here today, because I finally broke out of that cell that I held myself in, and I'm growing. And that's why I feel so excited to talk to you guys and help you guys and inspire you guys and motivate you guys in the ways that I wish someone could have for me, because I broke out of it. And it's really difficult to do, but when you can do that, you can heal and you can stop the resistance. That's where you will find so much love and gratitude for your life. This past summer was definitely a constant battle between passion, which used to be for my job, but for a while, when you do your job so much that's supposed to be your passion, I think that over time it becomes obligation if you don't treat it correctly, if you don't look at it from the right lens. And that's basically what I did. So for a while, I became really unfulfilled with doing social media, because it became an obligation. Like, it's what I had to do. And because I looked at it from that perspective, it was really hard for me to find enjoyment. And as hard as it was, I think I was also just totally outgrowing the person I used to be. And I was really ready to evolve and grow and change, but I had no idea how to get there. I actually didn't even know that healing was a part of the process of manifesting. So I was over here struggling for 3 years, when in reality, had I just admitted a lot of things that were difficult to me, like, this is hard, and at least just say to my brain, I probably would have been fine sooner. But no, this summer, that's when I did the healing, and here I am today. I am so sorry, like, low-key, that was so rambly, and I don't know if that even made sense, but this summer was hard. I thought I was gonna lose social media as my job, because I was not getting any deals. I had switched management, and I was here like, oh my god, like, I'm not even filming videos anymore, I'm not posting anything. But I had to have an ego death. I had to heal for me to realize, wait, I actually love what the fuck I'm doing. I'm actually no longer with any management anymore. Here I am on my own, and I'm choosing to be on my own right now, and life has never been better. I'm healing, I'm growing, and I'm seeing so much success in my career. I'm having so much motivation, and this motivation is beautiful, because, you know, I had a lot of motivation in my past, but I will say the motivation I have now is stronger and it goes deeper, because I think that it comes from a place of more self-awareness. And when you're more self-aware, I think you can learn to appreciate the things you have, because you know you got yourself there through resilience and mental clarity. Does that make sense? Oh my god, there's a lot of topics I want to talk about. We're just scratching the surface today. Anyways, that was the topic of like my hardest moments. It was definitely the healing process and trying to outgrow the old person I used to be. So if you guys were to ask me what was the hardest moments in my career so far, what got me here, it is definitely feeling like you hit your peak and realizing that that's not your peak. And if you want to grow more, the things you used to do to get you here are not the things you're going to use to get you to where you need to be. Elevating truly is about shedding your skin, I swear to God, every other month, and growing and evolving all of the time. And it is not a linear journey, but once you can realize that and you're open to learning and growing and you're open to change, I think that's when you start to see change. Anyways, that was a little deep, that was a little sobby, so we're gonna move on to what my favorite moment in my career has been so far. I will definitely say that my favorite moments in my career probably were a lot of the hardest ones too. Almost 2 years ago, I went to Coachella for the first time ever, and I went on a brand trip. That had to be my most proudest achievement in my career because it was a brand trip, you know, everything was all inclusive. It was so exciting, but I definitely will say I was not open to receiving at the time because it was really hard for me to enjoy it. But now looking back, I'm just here like, wow, like I am so blessed and I am so grateful for that opportunity. And now I look at it as something like, wow, okay, I have so much potential. But at the time I was so lost that when I went, I feel like I couldn't receive the blessing and I kind of felt like an outcast. Like I was grateful, but like I knew I was not receiving everything the way I should have. But looking at it now, I'm really grateful for that. It was definitely one of the things I wanted to do before I died. Like I have a whole list of things I want to do before I turn 25 that I created when I was like 14, 15, and it said go to Coachella. So that was definitely something that I manifested unknowingly, and I'm grateful as hell. So where I'm at now, as you guys know, I used to live by myself. Right now I'm back with my parents. I chose to for my mental health because I was fucking going through it. Last year I really wanted to manifest becoming a better version of myself. My mental health was really shit, so I really wanted to heal that part of me. I wanted to grow and evolve, and I had no idea how that was gonna happen, but I knew that that's what I wanted. In doing that, I told my parents like I want to move back in, you know, but thankfully I did gladly because I live with my parents. I have this safety net right now, and this safety net is allowing me to expand currently, and it's allowing me to feel safe enough to heal in the areas that I need to. So if you guys were to ask me where are you at now, like what's been happening, where are you mentally at? Currently I am so happy, and I think I'm happy because I've really gotten out of the slump. The past few years have been difficult, but also they've been the most transitional stages of my life. Like I have grown so much, and now I feel very secure in who I am, and I am so excited to grow even more. Currently my goals are to elevate even more in my career, but I also just want to grow even more as a person. In the past, I would say that my motivation came so much from passion, from love of my job, and I would say that's where my motivation is now, but I go beyond that now. I would say my motivation for what I do now is from my higher self. Like I want to grow, and I want to be where my higher self is now. I know where she's at because I can feel her every single day, and that's my motivation. Right now I can sit here and I can tell you exactly how my higher self feels. I can tell you exactly what she does. I can't tell you the details, but I have a feeling, and like that feeling is what connects me to inspiration. And that may be confusing, it's low-key hard to say, but that's totally where I'm at mentally. So basically my goal is my higher self, but even though I kind of low-key be tapped into her right now. So how am I working towards that though? It's really important to me to stay disciplined and to always remember what my intentions are. Anyways, I totally rambled and I low-key lost my train of thought, so we're gonna move on. I've been through a lot of hardships for sure, but I've also seen so many freaking blessings, and I'm so grateful to be here. Of course, this is only the first episode, so I low-key just tapped into the topics, but I promise when I do more episodes, I'm definitely gonna go even deeper into a lot of these topics because I feel like I only scratched the surface. But we're gonna go ahead and do a little Q&A. I think that's how I'm gonna end all of my podcasts. We're gonna do a quick question and answer. You guys can ask me questions on my Instagram or my YouTube comments. I'm gonna be checking all of those always, so just DM me, or if anything, like I'll have polls or questionnaires on my stories and you guys can click and let me know what you guys want to talk about, or let me know what you guys want me to answer. We're gonna go ahead and answer questions that I was asked a few days ago. So a lot of you guys want to start a YouTube channel, so the question is, how do I start a YouTube channel? Any advice? I have a lot of advice and I have a lot of tips, but low-key this would be a full ass video. I low-key been thinking about creating a like social media consultant little thing too. Let me know if you guys want that service. Low-key, that'd be kind of fun, right? We can do like Zoom calls or something. So let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. But if you want to start a YouTube channel, I would definitely say that consistency is the most important part. I think that's the part a lot of people struggle with the most. You can get so stuck into the planning, into the, okay, I want to have the right camera, the right lighting, I want to film it like this, but I have to have my life together like this. But when you do that and you keep waiting until you're ready, you're literally never gonna start. And so I say, start today, film today. Let that fucking video be shitty, because in the shittiness, that is where you grow. Nothing is gonna be perfect when you first start. I'm sorry, but that's just how it works. You just start now and be consistent. I promise you that is all it takes for you to grow and be where you need to be. A lot of people don't know what their niche should be, but you don't need a niche, y'all. Literally just start today. The more you film, the more you will gain your identity as a content creator. So consistency is the first step. Just starting is the first step, and after you do those things, I promise the rest will just fall into your lap ever so easily. Is that what people say? The next question is, as a vlogger, what do you need? So if you want to become a vlogger, I'd say the first thing you need is some type of camera. So it could be your phone, it could be an actual camera. I use my Canon G7X Mark II. That camera is amazing. I feel like everybody uses it. It is a great camera and it's about $500 I think nowadays. I got it when it was like way more expensive than that, like $700 or something. $500? Think about it. That is an investment. When you become a YouTuber and you get some steady views, I promise that money is gonna pay for your camera easily. So if you don't know if you should spend $500 on a camera, I say do it. But if you don't want to, a phone camera is perfect. I know so many big YouTubers that still use their phone till this day. So anything you have to record, low-key, just use that. All you need is some cute editing. Make it your personal style and suddenly that's your own niche, you know? But you just need a camera, you need an editing software. So if you're gonna use a computer, I like to use Final Cut Pro, but if you're starting off, use iMovie. But if you're just using your phone, I love using CapCut. That is my favorite phone editor. Okay, we're gonna do one more question, but I promise next time I'm gonna answer more questions. But for this last question, it's gonna be, how do you stay motivated? Let me tell you guys one thing. If you love yourself, you are gonna be your motivation. That's gonna be motivation enough. And if you feel like you're struggling to find motivation, you might need to do a little healing. We all need to do healing though, I'm not gonna lie. Just even the slightest bit of healing really can help elevate you, and it'll help you learn and grow and just become more secure in yourself. And I feel like when you can identify who you are, you will always have motivation in some way, and it'll be for yourself. Like I told you guys earlier, my motivation comes from my higher self. Like I think about her and that's what motivates me. She is what motivates me to wake up early, and she's what motivates me to work out because I know she does those things. I guess motivation kind of can come from everywhere, but to me that's how it works for my brain. Like it's for me because I love me, I love her. So if you guys want to get to that point, or if you guys want to get somewhere around there, I would say practice self-love. And if you guys have no idea how to do that, I think the first step is solitude. Actually sitting down with yourself and healing if you can. So think about the things that are bringing you a little bit of resistance and start from there. So first, solitude. Second, healing. Take care of the healing, and I promise you, you will find self-love on the other end of that. Anyways, guys, that was my first Hot Girl Philosophy podcast, and I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. It was really fun to film. I like this. I like talking. I talk way too much. I hope you guys enjoyed it though. Of course, follow me on my socials if you guys want to keep up with me at Sandy Diana Bang. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I really hope that you guys stay tuned because I will be having more episodes. Anyways, I will see you guys next time. Bye.